Hey guys, welcome to the Deafest Warrior. I'm Henry Mims, and today we're going to be talking about the 3 ways to get the message out of your life. You're starting to want to make a change, you're wanting things to be different, and we're going to talk about the 3 ways that we can do that. So, number one, the trouble you get from the trouble you're with. A lot of times you find yourself in situations that you don't want to be in because of the people that you're around. And it's not just in fighting, it's also in the gossiping, the drama, the she said, he said, all those things. And the best way to eliminate that is to stop being around the people who are doing that. It's okay to say, hey, look, what you're doing right there, I can't be a part of that. Now, one of the things that causes us to not do that is the feeling of being alone. Sometimes that's what we need. And I know it's going to cause anxiety in some of you thinking, oh my God, I can't be alone. But you don't have to necessarily be alone. And we're going to go through some things and how you can get away from that as well. But the first thing is the trouble you get from the trouble you're with. They're going to try and start all kinds of stuff, from the fighting to the drama to putting you in situations, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff that maybe you shouldn't be in. If you can handle it, you can handle it. But if you can't, you need to kind of move away from that. And now, that doesn't mean that they want the worst for you, but that does mean that they're looking for comfort. And sometimes they find that comfort in you and the group that's behind them. So it gives them more of a reason to go out and drink. It gives them more of a reason to get into these fights and wrap you into fights with people you don't even know. And you're just showing up. But why? They're acting like a fool because they know they've got a village behind them. And then they go and act however foolish they want to. And they stomp around like that. Why? Because they know that you're behind them. And because they were there for you, now you have to be there for them. No, you don't. And you can actually walk away. Okay? You need to find out what it is that you need to do, and you need to go do that. All right? Number two is the places you go determine the people you know. Now, I know I kind of touched on that just a minute ago, but what that means more importantly is when you find yourself going to places, and I'll give you an example for those of you that are saying, oh, no, that's not true. No, okay. Most of you either know people from work, school, or church. One of those 3 places. You know what? Let's throw in another one. Clubs, and another one. Festivals, bars, gym. Think of all the places that you go frequently and all the people you end up being friends with over and over and over and over again. Okay? Now, this can be a good thing. This can be a non-beneficial thing. But let's try to find the things that we can do that are going to benefit you. Going to the gym, make friends from the gym. As long as you don't get too obsessive with it, that's a good activity. It helps relieve stress. It helps all these things, right? Number two, you could go find a church if you don't have one. I'm a Christian myself, but whatever faith you feel like, and again, no church is one size fits all. So if you find a denomination of this, or you find or a different faith or whatever, just find something, Number three, the passions. For example, if you are an artist, find where they have pop-up events or they have festivals and then start talking to people and say, hey, where do you go? Hey, what do you do? I have a friend of mine right now who does photography, banging photography. Didn't start off that way, and I also have other friends of mine that are photographers as well. But what do? They started taking pictures and started posting them, and the other photographers came in and said, hey, yo, and then they win, and then people going out and taking it, groups like 3 or 4 going and taking this sunset or taking this whatever. You'd be amazed by the people you'll find just by following the passions that you have. But you got to go to these places, right? Well, I don't know what's getting me. Something's getting me today. Number 3, kind of touching and going further in depth to what I just talked about, the passions that you have. One of the things that I tell my kids all the time is to find something outside of all of this. What that means is find something that's outside of your family, find something outside of your friends. Why? Because there are going to be times in life that you just need to break away. And dare I say, sometimes the stresses in life are the feeling of obligation that you can't. You can. You're not obligated to anybody. You don't owe anybody an explanation. So if you want to go and build pottery in your garage instead of going to Aunt Bertha's, build the freaking pottery. You don't need to, you need to do you too. You're not, there's other people want to do them. You need to do you too. That doesn't mean to be completely selfish. But if you're a photographer, or if you're a musician and you want to go out there in the drums, I used to play drums. Find something and run with that, even if it's on your own. It's okay, because one of the things you're going to find is that you're going to get lost in it. And it can be an amazing thing. I don't know how many times I've gotten lost to listening to a jam band, or listening to Black Star, or listening to all these different types of music. I put on concert series all the time. Red Rocks is my favorite concert series to listen to. For those of you looking for something to find, they have a whole YouTube thing. I'll get lost in that for 2 or 3 hours, and just nobody bothers me, nobody messes with me, nobody know nothing. And I just get into that. But I hope that today we were able to kind of acknowledge, and at least at a surface level, how we can get out of the messes that we're in. We put ourselves in those messes. Nobody else does. Don't ever think that the reason why you're in the situation you are in right now is because somebody else did this. Number one, they did it because you allowed them to. Number two, they did it because they thought it was okay, and somebody had to make them think it was okay. That person was you. Number three, you could also step away from it, but chose not to. A lot of people say, oh, I can't run away from it, I can't walk. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can sit down and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm me. Just to give you an idea of how much of a you are, and how unique you are, okay? The same God that made the moon so you could see at night, the same God that made the planets so you could wander, the same guy that made the ocean so that you could see and explore and never get bored, the same God made you. Own it. Love it. Know it. Okay? All right. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome day. If you have any questions, have any ideas, comments, I'd love to hear some ideas. Maybe something I haven't touched on, but if you can come up with anything, let me know. All right? I'll talk to you guys later.